days wax worse and worse. The times become more and more evil, right? All praise to the Most High that we are able to congregate together once again as a body, bringing in our holy feast day of Feast of Tabernacle. Right, let me get Colossians 3:17, Ephesians 4:11.
Book of Ephesians, chapter 4, and verse 11.
Bring it out.
And it reads, and he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers, for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ.
Right, so everything we do is for the perfecting of the saints, the work of the ministry, and the edifying of the body of Yahushua, which is the Israelites spread across the four corners of the earth. That's why we do these classes day in and day out, and why we do hit the highways and byways week in and week out, that Israel may be perfected and beautified and ready for the marriage, because we're commanded to be perfect, right? Give me
The book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17.
Bring it out.
And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Yahushua, giving thanks to God and the Father by him.
Right, everything we do in word or deed, we do it all in the name of the Lord Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High God Yahweh. That's why we say, call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach Malak Yahushua. Right, this is not a deep class, it's not a tabernacles class, right? This is just a class that's on my spirit that, you know, it's gonna be done, right? And Most High willing, somebody to be edified through the Spirit, right? It's not a long class either, right? But this is what's on my spirit to be done. Entitled, "There is selfless and selfish. What are you?" There is selfless and selfish. What are you? Right? It's extremely important that we examine ourselves, right? Especially as we come into the last days, or we in the last days, especially as we get closer and closer to, you know, being out of here. Now, I'm not one to tell you, oh, we out of here and next year we be out. I'm not one to say those things, right? But nonetheless, we've been in the last days for a long time, and as Israel continues to wake up at a higher and higher rate, right, the time for zeal begins to come to a close, and the time for action and being active becomes more and more dramatic, right? And knowing the breakdowns, knowing the prophecies, knowing all those other various things, those things are not going to ultimately get you the kingdom, right? Right? The things that are going to get you the kingdom is, of course, having faith in Yahushua, and that faith in Yahushua is going to make you do what? Love your brother. That, like, you cannot have faith in Yahushua and not love your brother. You cannot have faith in the most selfless individual to walk this earth and you be selfish. That makes no sense. You only think about yourself, but you have faith in Yahushua. There's no way. You can't have faith in Yahushua and ultimately you still want this kingdom to go on and you don't want his kingdom to come. Selfishness is a person and an individual that is content and wants this place to continue to go. That's why you are selfish. If you really wanted Yahushua's kingdom to come in, it wouldn't be about you anymore. It would be about Yahushua. And Yahushua said to be about his people, your people. So when you truly believe that and you want this place to fall, that's the actions you invoke, man. Hey, sometimes it means you may not get any sleep, man. Hey, it's been plenty of times. I'm fresh off of class, man. Get off the class before I can put my phone to the ground. Brother call me. I don't get the option to say, you know what, the hell with that brother, I'm tired. I gotta pick it up. Then get off the phone with that brother. Put the phone out, boom, brother call. I don't get the option to say, you know what, I'm tired, I gotta be at work tomorrow. I gotta pick it up. Now, there are times, to be full disclosure, when I may not answer, but that's usually spiritual. I can usually look at the call and be like, I know what you want. I have to call you back. There are times, brothers say, nah, you ain't. No, there's times when you know. There's times when you know. When you look at the phone and say, I already know this brother. I don't want to deal with that. Because the brother called the same thing every time he called. You know, every time he called with the same spirit. So you already know what that is, right? But other than that, hey, pick up, right? Be there. That's just one way of showing selflessness and not selfishness, right? So let me get Haggai 1 and 5.
book of Haggai, chapter 1 and verse 5. Now, therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways.
That's I just want that point. Consider your ways. We always talk about self-examination. Examine. Consider your ways. Are your ways of a selfless individual or are your ways of a selfish individual? Which ways are they? Right? Are you always, and it's not, like, you know, Jake always thinks when you talk about selfish and selfless, he thinks about the Christianity term. That you telling Jake he got to spend his money. Just give up the money. Brother, we're not talking about the money. What about consideration? What about courtesy? Right? What about brotherly love? There's a litany of ways, right, besides giving money, that shows that you have more care for your brothers, your nation, and the Most High than you do yourself. Right? I'm plainly speaking. I'm a person, and a lot of brothers here as well, that's why I'm grateful for that. Not every brother, but a lot of brothers here will never put anything before king. Now, everybody's individual reason for what that may be, I can't speak to. Some brothers like the platform. Not saying brothers here do. Some brothers like the platform, so they won't miss king. Right? But my point is, that's a selfless act. Right? Because you may have family members that may want you to do something on a Shabbat. Now, you shouldn't do it anyway. That's off anyway. Right? But nonetheless, you may have it. And a selfless individual is going to say, no, the work of the Lord comes first. If you want me to do something, you know what I do. You know when I do it, then you are going to bend to my will of serving the Lord. If you are an individual that constantly bends to the will of others versus the will of the Most High God, do you want the Lord's kingdom to come? You got to ask yourself that question. I could be that person that reaches the individual that Nagad couldn't reach that day. But I wasn't there. You see? You don't have to say things for the Spirit to reveal it. The Spirit reveals it. And the people around you know what's inside of your spirit. Because they won't even call certain brothers and ask them or invite certain brothers for things. Oh, no, you're not going to do that. That's the Shabbat. You ain't going to do that. Why are they still inviting you? Why are they still asking you? You see? The Spirit reveals it. Even with people that's not spiritual. That's how violent those spirits are, right? That they attract carnal people. You see, when you spiritual and you walking in a way that is right for the Lord, carnal people flee from you. They don't want to invite you to nothing. They think about inviting you, they say, he gonna rebuke me and tell me I need to be in camp.
They get a face like they smelling something stinking.
Yeah.
Sweat right past your neck.
Yep. Good man. Ooh, nah, he gonna tell me I need to be in camp. I told him a few times I was gonna show up and I ain't even showed up. And that's crazy to me. You had invited these people to camp, they ain't come out. They invite you to something, you there. Examine that. Examine that. And I'm telling you, Jake, do this. There's something in your spirit that's not right. You selfish. You scared of losing a friend. I mean, you really care about the world. You really care about the, I don't give a damn about none of that. Because Lord, tell me who my family is. Lord, tell me who my friend is. You see, I want to lose the friends that don't serve the Lord because you're not going to help me. When all hell breaks loose and we're in the wilderness, I can't come to you for shelter. You're going to give me up for some rations. They're going to be wrapped. You'll kind of be in the corner somewhere sending the message. The Israelite is right here. What you going to give me?
I'm looking at him.
What did Judas say? What you going to give me if I deliver him up? You see? Now, if Judas said that about Yahweh Shai, how much more so your so-called friend that won't even respect your Sabbath? Won't even respect the work you do for the Lord. He don't even believe you believe the Lord. Because his Lord is by all. Your Lord is Yahweh Shai. You see? So, in your selfishness, instead of your selflessness, All you see is, I've been knowing him a long time. I've been knowing her a long time. I don't know if I'm ready to let that individual go. That's selfish. Because guess how many individuals you are letting down? Think about that. How many individuals are you letting down? Where's your courtesy to your brothers? Who's standing out there in the heat? Who's standing out there in the rain? Who's standing out there with their back hurting, their feet hurting, their ankles hurting? Right? Who don't get to spend time with their children, and that's the one day they probably can, and it's still out there.
Yep.
Where's your courtesy to that? Where's your thoughtfulness to that? You see, you're selfish. You somewhere riding with the kids in the car. You see? You see how it seemed minuscule, but it's not as deep. Because that's what sin is. Sin is deep. Sin is not a light thing. No part of sin is light. No part, and to literally be selfish, whether I can go to so many things in the law and show you that selfish towards your brother or to your sister is sin, according to the law, it's not even funny. You say, well, that's not talking directly about that. Okay, well, you think the Lord is pleased with you when he told you how to handle your brother and your sister? If it came out of your house, it's wrong. There's a litany of precepts in your house telling you how to handle your brother and your sister. How to be there. Right? Give me 1 Peter 3:8, Bible shot.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
Finally, be ye all one mind, having compassion one of another. Love as brethren. Be pitiful. Be courteous.
Be what?
Be courteous.
Be pitiful and courteous, man. Right? That's a major lacking thing within this truth, but it's in the scriptures to be that way. A major lacking thing to be courteous. To think about your brother or your sister. Think about what they may be going through. Think about what they may have inconvenienced themselves for you to enjoy yourself. Think about what they may have inconvenienced themselves to stand on the line that you're not at. You're not on. You got Jake that want to join camps, literally just to have feast days. You have Jake that I've interviewed brothers that said, I'm just looking at fellowship. Well, brother, that's the wrong answer, brother. You can fellowship without being in the camp, brother. We do the work here. You know, and matter of fact, one of the brothers, I allowed the brother to prospect. To watch and see if I was right or wrong. And so far, I've been right. He'll know who he is soon. Right? That's just how it works. Because ultimately, you have to have the desire to want to die for your brother. And if you don't have that mind and that notion to know that I'm willing to die for my brother, then this is not for you. Because a lot of us don't die. The ones that endure, a lot of us are going to die. Peter died. Paul died. Stephen died. We're not above them men. And you have to be okay with that. But if you have that complex of always thinking about what you can get out of this world, are you okay with dying? You fear death. Because you want something out of this place. You don't want to die. Go ahead.
To that point that you made about people going for the wrong reasons, man. Those type of people, man, don't check their spirit. They add into our experience. To things to look for, right? Because it shows you the depth of the deceitfulness of the heart. When you come in with those type of mindsets, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of the
Yep. And this is the cold part. Jacob say that the first time, and then try to correct it when you ask him again.
Don't ask him.
Where you kind of be like, oh, okay. Well, you know, I wanna make it to the kingdom. What do I gotta do? That's not what you said the first time. Your heart already divulged what's in your spirit. You told me yourself, right? But it's the selfishness again. I want to enjoy the feast days. I want to congregate on the feast days. Not what can I want to know what I can bring to the feast. Not even that simple. You want to be at the feast days, not even, I'm a great cook. I want to be able to cook for the brother. None of that. That's not what's said. It's, I want to join this. I want to congregate. When can I come out? What week am I on again? What week? Hey, not what week am I on so I can hold posts for my brother. Not what week am I on so I can read mighty for the Lord. What week am I on that I can finally come get drunk and eat with y'all? You see? Selfish. Right? Read that Hebrews about the shop.
Hebrews 10 and
24.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 24. And let us consider one another. And let us consider one another.
Let us what one another?
Let us consider one another.
Let us consider. See, courtesy, consideration, care. These words are all interchangeable. The book of Hebrews is telling you, let us consider one another. Have consideration. I heard a leader in a camp on a video, not to be named, say he was doing a class, and he was saying something about a brother in the camp, and then he got corrected, and the leader said, you know, I'll be out of touch. I said, y'all just whiffed it then, huh? You don't even understand what he just told you. I don't consider you niggas because you ain't on my level. That's what he just said. And that's your leader. But that's not the spirit the Lord said a leader's supposed to have. What if Joshua said, I'll be out of touch, I don't know.
I'm out the spirit.
I don't know. Who's that nigga again? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if Joshua said that? And they had physical wars they were fighting. And he knew Akan's name. Akan, I pray thee. Tell me what it is that you have done. Not, hey, what's his name again? What's that brother's name? A lot fell on him. What's his name? He knew the brother's name.
That's
you
a
see?
big thing.
Exactly. You see? This leader literally said, I'll be in touch. You know, if you know, you know who I'm talking about, right? But he said it. And I kind of looked at the video. Anxiety. I'm watching. but it seemed brothers be like, brothers getting petty. No, I'm not being petty because I always want to be in touch. I tell the brother who's over the prospects, hey, keep me informed. Let me know. Let me know what's going on. Brothers say, hey, I really don't want to call you and bother you with it. No. Let me know what's going on.
You got a report.
Exactly. Let me know what's going on. I never want to say, brother, you know, you over the prospects, brother, you handle that. Don't tell me nothing about that. No, what's going on with the brother? Will you pray for the brother? How can we help the brother? You have to consider. Because even in the face of a brother going off, maybe we can help him going off. Maybe he needs to be corrected. Maybe he doesn't know. Sometimes brothers really just don't know. Some brothers actually have to be taught certain things that maybe other brothers don't gotta be taught. Some of us grew up a certain way that causes us to think the way of brotherhood or the way of order, the way of so on and so forth. And some of us are individuals. So we may have to be taught, hey brother, hey, why you do that? Yeah, we don't really move like that. Hey brother, why you such and such? Okay, brother, look, this is how we, and that's not a big deal. But if you out of touch, you're not considering, well, maybe the brother don't know. Maybe he just don't know. But you have to consider. The Lord said consider. Right? Who's that?
The book of Proverbs, chapter 28 and verse 25 in the NLT. Greed causes fighting. Trust in the Lord leads to prosperity.
It says, what causes fighting?
Greed causes fighting.
Greed causes fighting. You know why there's so much fighting in Israel? So much back and forth. And now, you know, Jake want to be fake. No, can't be. Come on, man. Why you wasn't saying that 6 months ago? Why just now? That's what the hashtag is. Because it's the new thing. And Jake always want to be in with the new thing. Which is why you have so much worldly stuff being channeled into the truth. Brother Jake take anything from the world and try to put it into the truth, and then say, you know, well, it's about the truth, brother. But you the same brother that pulled a preacher to say, what good thing can come out of the unclean? But yet you try to take something out of the world and fix it into the truth as a gimmick. No, nigga, you selfish. You still ain't let go of the world. You still trying to drag that same want for fame, that same greed that you had in the world into the truth, and you try to rename it and retape it and repackage it and send it back out. Well, I'm going to return that back to sender. I don't want it. I don't want it. You can repackage it all you want. I don't want it. 12 to 20. Right? Out? 2 Corinthians 12 to 20. So, yeah, I'm gonna repackage that thing. I mean, not me. You try to repackage it. You know, it's kind of like you go to the you go online to Amazon, type in say MacBook Pro, I type it in and say $1,000, refurbished $250. A smart man gonna say, I don't know. I don't know. Hey man, just repackage that thing and send it right back out. They done troubleshooted it, repackaged it, and sent it right back out. See, a smart man can know what he's seeing. He understands if you just repackage it, you greedy. You just trying to, hey, I already made $1,000 off of that. Now they repackage it, they want another $250 off of it. You see, Jake trying to play that same game. I'm gonna change the name of it and put brew in it. Everybody be with it. All the brews will be with it then. Try to repackage it. No, brother, it's refurbished. I don't want it. You trying to bring something clean out of unclean? I don't want it. There's no sincerity in it, and that's why it's not gonna last. The same brother you see saying no camp beef, World War III hashtag. In another 2 months, don't be talking mess about camp. Hey, I seen one take on Facebook that I had a comment. I found out he said, I love all my brothers. I love the y'all Jew followers. I said, brother, this is not biblical. What you just said is off.
Yeah.
And he didn't even respond because he knew. I was like, brother, this contradicts John 8, Romans 16, Galatians 1. like, you love the followers of somebody that has an antichrist and anti-scripture.
You think he is innocent?
Brother, you are not sincere. That's the spirit that's going to, you trying to repackage it. You want everybody to like it. Everybody's going to like this. No, nigga, that's wicked. Send that back. Return the sender. We don't want it. Right, what you got?
This is the book of 2 Corinthians 12 and verse 20 in the NLT. For I am afraid that when I come, I won't like what I find. And you won't like my response.
You ain't gonna like, hey, they ain't gonna like it. You ain't gonna like the response because you're gonna get rebuked. Go ahead.
I am afraid that I will find quarreling, jealousy, anger, selfishness,
What?
selfishness, slander, gossip, arrogance, and disorderly behavior.
And this is the thing. This is the thing, man. That selfishness is what creates all that.
Hey, that's somebody preaching. I like it in the NLT.
Yeah, it's different. That selfishness creates all of that. The slander, the gossip. All that comes from that selfishness, man. That's the danger of it, man. Because you only think about you and whatever. Look, in the world, you said by any means necessary. Did you care about how you got it? No. You care who you had to hurt to get it? No. That's what that selfishness does, man. And he say, hey, I'm not gonna like what I'm see, and y'all not gonna like my response, man. And so a lot of Jakes, hey, they might have already logged off, you know. It's supposed to be tabernacle. Why ain't you do tabernacle today? You know what I'm saying? You know, Jake don't log off, man. They don't kind of share it. Brother Booker now, he going off on camps. I ain't went off on nobody camp. You know? But you don't like what you don't hear. And I'm speaking in an open view. I'm not even directly at anybody. Now imagine with Paul, who's saying, I'm gonna direct this at you in Corinth. All you in the church of Corinth, y'all about to get this work. That's pretty much what he said. Y'all about to get this work. Because y'all going off. Y'all selfish and y'all carnal. Y'all gossip. And this is common in Israel. This is how you know that this has to be addressed. There's a lot of gossip in Israel. You know, I once was in a camp, a different camp, and I used to hear a lot of gossip about other camps. A lot. Then lo and behold, they do a unity camp with that camp. Imagine that. Now, why would you do a unity camp? Selfish, because you want their following. So you're willing to compromise what you say you believe, because you was gossiping about it, to camp with them because you want their followers. Yeah, I got a lot of followers. They got followers I ain't got, so I want. You can't put their name in there, and then you know on the YouTube channel, and I'm listening to their followers. Selfish.
It's like that's what they do. That's the key. You're trying to present something that's unclean.
Right. That's like Louis Vuitton linking with David Supreme. That's why they did it. You think Louis Vuitton literally was looking at David Supreme like, I respect that.
They're like those early.
Here you go. Demographic. That's why it happens. They look at David Supreme like, I respect that. That's a nice fellow. They were talking, I promise you they were talking. The owners of Louis Vuitton were talking passionate about David Supreme. They say, look at Supreme. Maybe it's not Data, it's just Supreme. So like, let me say it right. So Data, that's probably before a lot of y'all's time. That's when I was young. You know what I'm saying? But it was just Supreme. So let me correct that, because somebody gonna leave a comment and say, it's just Supreme Ock. You told us your age on that one. But what I'm saying, what nobody thinking about no Supreme? No, I mean not Supreme. What nobody thinking about, you know, Louis Vuitton on those shoes like that? Not a regular J. Not a regular J, but when they label Supreme, though, oh, get those. Right? That's the same thing. And brothers do the same thing with gossip in their mouth. Guile in their heart. All due to selfishness. Right?
The book of James, chapter 3 and verse 15 in the NLT. For jealousy and selfishness are not God's kind of wisdom.
For jealousy and selfishness are not the Lord's kind of wisdom. Go ahead.
Such things are earthly, unspiritual, and demonic.
And what?
And demonic.
That selfish spirit you got on you, that earthly spirit you got on you, the Lord says is demonic. Man. Demonic. You think you get in the kingdom with that? You're not going to get the kingdom with that, man. It's not going to happen. Right? Let's get a root guy.
This book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 17. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred therewith.
Read that one again, Sloppy.
Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred therewith. A wrathful man stirreth up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeaseth strife. The way of the slothful man is as an hedge of thorns, but the way of the righteous is made plain.
15 and 27.
He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live.
You see that? He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house. So you greedy of gain, you trouble your own house. And that's, like I said, this is a common thing. it goes back to 1 Timothy, well not back to this time promise coming before, but goes with 1 Timothy 6 and 5. Right? Hey, gain is not godliness. But Jake is always thinking about gain. You know, can't miss work, can't take off. You know, how many, I don't want me to work extra hours. I may have to be extra. No, if you have to work extra hours, that's one thing, but you got to take that and literally ask for it. Let me get a couple extra dollars. It's fine if it's not gonna interject with you doing the work or you serving your brother. Because ultimately, you serving your brother should come way before you serving Esau. Brothers gotta really examine that right there. Are you really pleasing the Lord when you go serve Esau, your brother? Well, your house, I'm like, you know what? You know, you gotta, it says, precepts are be careful with the man that had the power to kill.
Oh yeah.
Power to kill, man. Power to kill, so I gotta go ahead and go in. Sorry, Jake. You know what I'm saying? Can't hear you today. You know what I'm saying? I wish I wouldn't pull that precept. Said I ain't got it. Can't hear you today. Gotta go to work. Yahushua went to work a different way every day. He didn't rest. You know, we're not saying that any of us are Yahushua or given that spirit like Yahushua to be able to move like he did, but our objective is to be like Yahushua to the best of our ability. He's an example in every way. Everybody pulls that precept to go into him being an example as far as keeping the commandments for Christians. Why don't you pull that precept on yourself? About him being an example of selflessness. Right? Selflessness with no rest. Well, nobody pulls that precept on himself to cut themselves though. Kind of look at it and say, you know what? How selfless is hell? They'll pull it and tell you when you don't got the spirit of Christ. Yeah. You get mad too fast. Israel let us say that. Not realizing that Christ got mad as hell too. Especially dealing with greedy, selfish individuals. Who do you think he went off there? Who he went off on most of the time? Pharisees. Greedy, selfish individuals. Who did he make a scourge and whip out of the damn temple? Greedy, selfish individuals. But you take those. The moment one of us get mad, oh, that's not Christ. They ain't have no patience, brother. Come on, friends. You justifying the wicked. Christ did not such a thing. He had no patience for the wicked. He had patience for those that were wanting and sick. And a sick person don't fight the doctor. I ain't never been to the doctor's office. Hey, I used to get sick. I'd have had flu. I'd have had food poisoning. I'm in there like, help, please. Lord. Oh, what you want me to take? Whatever you want me to take, I'm going to take it. Just tell me I'm going to feel better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't fighting the doctor. You know? Every last one of us, we can hate Esau and medicine all we want. We get sick enough, we headed to the hospital.
I want to fight when they were doing shit to my face. Do it. Afterwards, come on, let's get it.
You know, it literally don't. You can hate Esau, you be pulling the other precept on his opposition. You keep pulling it on Jake. Jake trying to come out there and tell you, you gotta get this natural medicine, brother. They say honor the physician, brother. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like that when you get sick enough, you're not gonna fight. So a lot of y'all that don't understand that Yahushua said, I come for the sick. They that are whole need not a physician. Those that are proud and selfish and buck up against the words of the Lord, they believe they're whole. That's what he told the Pharisees in John the 9th chapter. He said, you believe it that you see, therefore your sin remains. It's just that plain. So these selfish individuals believe they're whole, and they believe that they already got a peace. Now they want your peace. Now they want his peace and her peace and everybody else's peace too. They're not looking to be healed. They're not looking for nothing. They're not the beggar. That's not the spirit of the beggar. Right? What you wrong? Oh, you got it.
2 Corinthians 1.
No, I want Timothy. You want Timothy? Yeah, 2 Timothy 1:1. That's what I want. I thought it was great. I want Timothy.
Book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1, and verse number 1. Paul, an apostle of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, by the will of God, according to the promise of life, which is in Yahweh Shah Mashiach, to Timothy, my dearly beloved son, grace, mercy, and peace from God the Father and Yahweh Shah Mashiach, our Lord. I thank God, whom I serve from my forefathers, with pure conscience, that without ceasing I have remembrance of thee and my prayers night and day.
Hold on, wait a second. We read past that all the time, man. But we don't get how deep what Paul is saying to Timothy actually is. Read that one more time. Think about what Paul is telling Timothy he does night and day for somebody that's not himself. Go ahead.
Verse 3. I thank God, whom I serve from my forefathers, with pure conscience, that without ceasing I have remembrance of thee in my prayers night and day.
Right. So he said, I have remembrance of thee in my prayers night and day. The Lord said to what? Consider. Right? That's consideration. Night and day. That's 3. I already know. That's consider. I know. It's consideration. That's high consideration. Right? Night and day. Every time. I gotta remember. That's high consideration. That's selflessness, man. Not let me pray, Lord, I'm able to make my rent this month. Lord, I'm not saying that's a wrong prayer. That's fine. But that's not what he's talking about. It wasn't this prayer night and day wasn't for him. It wasn't about him. It was about Timothy, his brother. I pray for brothers a lot, but I can't say night and day. I gotta work on that. I can't say night and day. Right? I try to pray for at least a few brothers at least once a day. But it be a few days I kind of forget brothers. I won't lie. Then brother says like, damn, I gotta get back on prayer. I'm praying for you on that. Night and day. Right, read on.
Verse 4. Greatly desiring to see thee, being mindful of thy tears, that I may be filled with joy.
The boy said, being mindful of thy tears. How many brothers can really say they're mindful of the tears of their brothers? A lot of brothers don't even know that their brothers be crying. I say it all the time, man, I know Jake cried. I cry. I cry way more than I would like to. I'm saying, in the world we'd never admit that. You cry. You man up. It is true. It's like, hey, sometimes you hit the car and it's like, as soon as you hit the car, they just start flowing.
You like that?
Yeah. Hey, when you really dealing with depression, it can just come out of nowhere. You can just literally be sitting on the couch. Next thing you know, it just coming down. Think about that though. Think about if you go through that. Who else goes through that? And if you do that, it'll help you to be more courteous with your brother. It'll help you to be more courteous and what? Tender and delicate with your brother, which we once were. We often talk about reversing the curses when some of those curses are in the power of our own natural work. Tender and delicacy is something that we can return on our own. Just by being, what he said, mindful.
And it's like there's no private interpretation of that.
Nope.
You can't look at it how you came out from the streets and mine was different. That's why you're supposed to change every day. You're supposed to be identifying and just patient. I got to present real quick if you don't mind.
No.
This is Sirach chapter 16, verse 13. It says, "What? The sinner shall not escape his spoils, and the patience of the godly shall not be frustrated." So in order for that your patience not to be made frustrated is to consider the experience that you made. Understand and watch how people show for it. You grew up, you ain't alright, like some people brothers got a job where they can't be compassionate and tender with their brother. You got to know when to cut that off. You
Right.
got to know when to execute that tenderness and delicateness to where you're not over masculinizing, right? I made that up. That approach.
Right.
You can't be overly masculine in that area where that you can't say, "Hey, kid, tell me my son." You know what I'm saying? They killed him after that. He was commanded, but he sincerely wanted the help of his people. He wasn't trying to hide. "Oh, Lord, can I just do?" No. That's how you gonna show this love, right? So to be tender and delicate, bro, you're gonna have to have patience. That's why the tears come, because of how much patience you have to have in such an evil place.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can have a really good week. You can have fasted 3 days. You only said you're gonna do one. You did 3, and then you come showing all the love there is to be shown. You tell the brother, let me stand post for it. Nah, I don't want to teach. I don't want to stand post for this. Let him teach. Right? That in your spirit, you can't tell him the truth. But that patience that you're getting, bro, it's knowing that you have to be patient in such a place as this, and that's why the tears come. You gotta know how to love a brother in that time. I call a brother, bro, going through it. You know what I mean? Really going through it, and it's like, look, report. Brothers don't want to talk to each other. That's how brothers can understand what it is that you're going through sometimes. You don't have a crystal ball, bro.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta open your mouth and talk. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to touch on that real quick. And the patience of the godly shall not be frustrated. Make way for every work of mercy. That's why having courtesy, love his brother. Many brothers have told me, my counselor or ask brothers questions, go to a brother before I do anything or say anything. Maybe you should be more merciful. Hey, check this scripture out. I was reading this today. Hey, because for us to have patience in a place like this, man, you gonna cry.
Right.
You gonna get down. So you gotta have that courtesy when you see that brother. Sometimes just give him a hug. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're going for, brother. You gotta do this.
No, all praise to the Most High. Read the 2nd Ezra 10 and verse 3. All right, let's read that.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 10 and verse 3.
Pick it up.
No.
All right, verse 3. And it came to pass, when they had all left off to comfort me, to the end I might be quiet. Then rose I up by night, and fled, and came hither into this field, and as thou seest. And I do now purpose not to return into the city, but here to stay, and neither to eat nor drink, but continually to mourn and to fast until I die.
So Ezra is dealing. He's in a vision. He's seeing a woman, and the woman she wanted one son. She ended up getting one son, and then the son died. And now she's saying, "Hey, now that my son has died, I don't care about nothing. I just want to fast and mourn until I die." Let's see what Ezra tells us. Read on.
Then left I the meditations wherein I was, and spake. Oh, did you want that woman's account? Okay, let me keep right here. All right, it says, then left I the meditations wherein I was, and spake to her in anger.
In what?
In anger.
Let's see why he was so angry with a woman that lost her child. She's all right some more. But let's see why he was upset. Read on.
Saying, thou foolish woman, above all other, seest thou not our mourning? And what happeneth unto us? How that Zion, our mother, is full of all heaviness and much humble, mourning very sore. And now, seeing we all mourn and are sad, for we are all in heaviness, art thou grieved for thy one son?
You see, he said, you selfish, foolish nigga woman. That's what he said. You only worried about your one son. And our whole nation is in mourning and heaviness. And you consider it not. Somebody said, well, she deserved to mourn. You're missing the point. Her mourning and her fasting until she died is only about herself and what she lost. It's not about the nation. If you're going to mourn and fast till you die, it should be over your whole nation. Not over just what you lost. And she didn't get that. She could have said, I weep for my son, I mourn for my son, I'm sorry for my son. But I love my nation, and we all going through it. But she didn't say it. Because she ain't the only one. Bro, in the time of Ezra, we're in a Persian captivity. A lot of people lost their children. A lot of people's children were taken by the king and being used for various different things and killed. Right? So it ain't just about your son. But don't take my word for it. Let's see if Ezra went off. Jump to verse 39.
Verse 39. He has seen that thy way is right, for that thou sorrowest continually for thy people, and makest great lamentation for Zion.
You see? So the angel, Uriel, tells Ezra that the Lord sees that thy way is right. Not that you was wrong for rebuking the woman in the vision, that it was right because you continually mourn and lament for your nation. And because of that, Ezra got all this prophecy. The Lord gave him all this understanding because of his love for his people, his selflessness. You see? The cold part about it is a selfless individual is going to end up getting more than a selfish individual. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? You working so damn hard to have all this, that, and the third, and the person that don't give a damn about none of it is who the Lord gonna give it to.
Crazy.
Think about that. Think about the man in Acts the 8th chapter. That was doing all the divinations and witchcraft, and just because he wanted a name. But guess who had the power? Peter. They tried to kind of fire from Peter. You know what I'm saying? And Peter said, "Hey, thy money perish, because thy heart ain't right." You see? Let's go to give me Exodus 32 and verse 30. Classic. Get another account on selflessness. Exodus 32 and 30, and read down to 32.
The book of Exodus, chapter 32 and verse 30. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, Ye have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up unto the Lord. Peradventure I shall make an atonement for your
He
sins.
said, "You have sinned a great sin." He didn't say, "Y'all need to sin. Y'all niggas wicked." It is what it is. I'm righteous. And the Lord talking about making a whole nation out of my seed, though. He ain't say that. And the Lord did it before. He did it with Noah. So the Lord wasn't playing when he said it. He wasn't bluffing. You see that? He could have been like, "My shines, like the ring in it." A lot of you Jakes would have been sitting back like that.
Hey, Moses, imagine Moses kind of posted up. I start running this shit. Run this shit.
My shines, the sand of the sea, like the ring in it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do none of that. Let's see what he did. Read on.
Verse 31. And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, Oh, this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them gods of gold.
Right.
Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of the book which thou hast written.
You say, "Hey, if you're not gonna forgive their sins, just take me out of truth. Take me out the chance of getting the kingdom myself." You see that? That's what he said. If you, he didn't say, "You know what? Yeah, let's make them my shies. The niggas is wicked. These Israelites is wicked. No, let's make my seed gonna be righteous." He didn't say that. He said, "Hey, if you're not gonna forgive their sin, and then remove me out of the whole thing too." I can't say I would say it. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think I would. Just being upfront. But Moses did, and that's an example for us to look at.
There's not too many people that give up the truth, give up the kingdom for their brothers, man.
No. That's what I'm saying. But that's an example. Let's say none of us may not ever had a spirit Moses had. But we should be striving to have that type of love for our neighbor. That type of consideration and courtesy for our neighbor. Moses was different. We all understand that. The Lord tell you Moses was different. So we can't expect, we may not never have that. But we can work as hard as we can to love our people the right way. We can do that. Let's read about Esther.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 7 and verse 3.
Genesis 14.
Then Esther, the queen, answered and said, If I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please thee, king, let my life be given me at my petition, and my people at my request. For we are sold.
Oh, no, I am sold.
For we are sold.
Oh, she's a queen.
For we are sold.
Oh, she's a queen. How is she including herself? Why is she including herself? She got it good. She's in the palace of Shushan, living it up.
Servants.
But how can she actually live it up when her people are sold?
That's crazy.
But a lot of you takes, a lot of you Israelites, y'all just care about y'all living it up. You got Israelites. Let me not say that. Some start war. Finish it off.
For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's advantage.
So that I and my people are sold. She's not sold. But that's what the word sympathy is. Right? That's what sympathy is. For you to actually feel what somebody you care about feels. That's why they have a difference between sympathize and
Empathy.
empathize. Right? Sympathize is to feel it.
It's more accurate.
So she felt it in the spirit. We gotta feel what our brothers and our sisters are going through in our spirits. That's what's gonna make us courageous. What's gonna make us kick. What's gonna make us mindful. Right? Read what you got.
The book of Genesis, chapter 14 and verse 21. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, give me the persons and take the goods to thyself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread, even to a shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich.
Now, so Abraham is showing a high level of selflessness, and it's going to get deeper when he finishes off his speech. Right? He could have said, you know what, y'all take all that. I only got y'all and my cousin back. Right? I did that. Me and my servants. Give me all that. That's mine. Run that. You know, Jacob would have said that. Run that. Run all that to
Give me
me.
a pot.
He said, run all that to me. It's mine. Hey, as a matter of fact, this is my kingdom now, too. He say, nah, I don't want none of that. I don't want nothing you got unless you say, hey, you made Abraham rich. Why? Because a gift destroyed the heart. Abram understood that. I don't want no parts of that.
Kind of take away from his good land.
Exactly.
They take away from him.
Exactly. He didn't want none of that. Right? Read on.
Verse 24. Save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them take their portion.
Let them take their portion. So, hey, I'm not taking nothing, but the men that went with me, let them get theirs. You see that? Selfless. Let them get theirs. Right? Let them get theirs. Read on. I know it. Read on.
Chapter 15, verse 1. After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, fear not, Abram. I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward.
And thy what?
And thy exceeding great reward.
The hell with all that. The hell with all that stuff the damn Sodom gave me. The Lord is my reward.
That's right.
You see, that's the spirit you're supposed to be having. The Lord, hey, it said, after these things, after Abram showed the works of a selfless, loving, selfless, and faithful servant of the Lord came in the vision and said, hey, I'm your reward. You see, we got to understand these things, man. That's why I said, hey, a lot of times that selfishness comes from a lack of faith. Just, Abram still wasn't in the land that he was promised. Matter of fact, he didn't never get into that land. And it didn't change nothing. Because his faith was that strong. We gonna see it. Lord willing, we'll that know. And we still worry too much about what we can get here. What can be done for us here? You see? Let's go to Genesis 18 and 19. Let's read something else about Abraham.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 18 and verse 19. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him.
Says that he knows him, that he's going to teach his family how to do justice and judgment. So the things that we already proved it was the 15th chapter. But the things that Abram did, his understanding, the way he moved, his selflessness, right? Even to go get Lot was selfless. Say, hey man, they on 300, they trained servant. He went and got his brother. Some of you Jason do this. And I'm gonna pray for it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Pray for it, bro. Lord willing, brother, make it out of there. Yeah, they take it. Lord willing, brother, make it out of there. I said Lord willing, didn't I? That's what I take out. Told him not to go. You know what I'm saying? But he said, hey, that was selfish. Because if he had it, but it was faith. It was faith. Not telling brother Jacob, because Jacob take the video and extrapolate it. Next thing you know, Jacob, he trying to run down on Esau. It's not that time yet. Right? It's not that time yet. Gotta make sure I had that disclosure. First,
Crazy.
exactly. First read Matthew 9:38.
Alright. The book of Matthew, chapter 9, and verse 38. Right? And it reads, Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Alright. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits, to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. Now the names of the 12 apostles are these.
Hold on, wait a second. Okay, give me a bell. It's 10 and 38.
Book of Matthew chapter 10 and verse 38. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it.
Read that again.
Verse 38. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it.
Now, when we read that precept and we'll say, and which is correct, well, that's not talking about physical, that's talking about spiritual. That's why I talk about taking up the Christ, the cross. So spiritually, you gotta let go of things in the world. You gotta lose that. That's how you find eternal life, right? You gotta die daily, right? But what about when we read this precept? Read it.
This is the book of St. John, chapter 15, and verse number 13. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friend.
Hold on, when we read that, it's only physical. Why that ain't spiritual? That's spiritual too. You gotta lay down that worldly understanding. You gotta lay down, hey, well, brother, I can't afford it. I miss this, man. No, you gotta lay that down. That's great love to your friend. You see how one-sided our mind is when we train to think one way in Israel?
It's like, you read that precept and you
10 and 38.
Yeah.
The book of Matthew chapter 10 and verse 30.
Okay.
Verse 38. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it.
He that what?
He that findeth his life shall lose it.
So the scriptures say die daily. Every day that's going to be presented to you. Every day that moment of choice making. Just like it was said in Matthew 8, let me suffer me to go bury my father first.
Yeah.
Right? So these things are presented to you every day. That's every day. It ain't just an end game. Oh yeah, you finally found your life here. No, you find your life every day. And something that you dig yourself out of pit to pit counteracts what you're doing, your work, then there you go. You know what I mean? That has to be examined. That has to be in your prayer request. You know what I mean? That, hey, Lord, make me stronger. He's saying, Joshua 1 and 9, have not I commanded thee? You know what I mean? The Lord wants you to feed his sheep. So feed the sheep over everything. I mean, that's just how I came in to this thing. I mean, me and his brother, we didn't put nothing before, you know what I mean, so far as getting the work done. When we set a day out to get the work done, hey, we gotta get the work done. You know what I mean? And eventually, you know, now we standing in this full stature, us as a body, right? But we had to make sacrifices. I tried to hold on to my job, but I said, you know what, nah, I'm gonna quit. You know what I mean? I had to come to that conclusion. And then the Lord, hey, presented me with something where I could have my weekend. It was hard for me to get my weekend off. This brother seen me interview every time. Ace the interview, then they like, nah, man, we want you to do this. Which will not give me that weekend off. So I said, quit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Mighty point. Mighty point. Bring it on.
On the 30, on 10.
Yep. No.
Matthew chapter 10 and verse 40. He that receiveth you, receiveth me. And he that receiveth me, receiveth him that sent me.
You gotta understand these things, man. Now it's gonna get deep about receiving. You know, Jay kind of think it's simple. It is simple, but it's simpler than you even think it is. You know.
Verse 41. He that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward. And he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward.
Read.
And whosoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones
Hold on now. Read on.
a cup of cold water only in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward.
As simple as a cold cup of water. What was the disciples out doing? Why did he say a cold cup of water?
Thirsty, they working on the word.
See that?
Walking around.
But what does it take to realize he made this thirsty?
Consideration.
Consideration.
Yep.
You see what he's really saying? He that considers these disciples are going to get a reward. You have to have that consideration, man. You have to think about what my brother may need. Half the time you already know. A brother pull up and he's sad. You think to yourself, I ain't gonna need a hug. You know? But there's a whole another level of courtesy and consideration that we got to get to. Because it's not only when your brother looks sad. It's an everyday walk. Job duties. Children. Planning for feast days. And even these sisters, man, a lot of these sisters, some of these sisters, hey, they kind of get upset when they got to do things. And they don't understand. When you serve a brother some food, it's a cold cup of water, man. Especially after camp. I don't want to do that.
That's what it is.
You don't understand what you do. The Lord is going to reward you for that. Fringes on the shirt for a brother.
Yeah. For a child.
For a child. Making a shirt. That's what this is talking about. So, hey, you got to remember that and be in the right spirit while doing it. Not begrudgingly, man. It's very important.
You gotta actually care about your people for that.
Exactly. And these are the things, though, that we got to teach ourselves, teach our children, and teach our wives. Right? Let's go to Matthew 20 and 25.
The book of Matthew, chapter 20 and verse 25. But Yahushua called them unto him and said, Ye know that the princes of the Gentiles, exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them. But it shall not be so among you. But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister.
Let him be your what?
Let him be your minister.
You see that? If you great, if you a leader, your job is to be a servant.
Right.
A minister is a servant. It's not talking about you standing on the pulpit, sweating profusely with a damn rag, patting yourself with a rag. That's not talking about that, man. It's talking about being a servant. Man.
That's right.
And brothers got to ask themselves a question. At every opportunity that you have to serve your brother, are you doing so? You got to ask yourself that question. And the answer may be no. A wise brother would say is no. Now I need to examine it. They selfish brother gonna say, come. I know I do all I can do.
That's crazy. It's called pride. Huh?
Hey, it's Jake that'll say it though. It's Jake that'll literally say, I know I do all I can do. I can do more. We all can do more.
It doesn't stop.
Because you serve the Lord through serving your brother. And the Lord said when you glorify him as much as you can, for you can never go far enough. So you can never go far enough. Brothers gotta understand that thing. I know.
Verse 27. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many.
See that? I'll tell you, we read over these precepts, man, and we don't examine what the Lord is hammering in our mind to understand of what he wants from us. It's all about your brothers. It's nothing is about you. It's not about selfishness. It's all about the nation. That's what it's about. And I'm telling you, man, this is a common thing in Israel. It's a lot of selfishness, man. It's a lot of me. It's a lot of that. Ain't no me in Israel. Brother said, what's all right, you know, Jacob by the way, said, what's all right there, though. You know what I'm saying? It's off as hell. But Jacob said,
So like, hey, that scripture that you put, that 2 Ezra 10, verse 50, it says, for now the Most High seeth that thou art grieved unfeignedly. Unfeignedly, right? So there's no darkness in that. That is a light. That is a light. L-I-G-H-T, right? Light. It says, and suffers from thy whole heart firm. So when your brothers say we can do more, I always like to go to that Nehemiah 8, when they cried, when they heard the words of the law. I know I didn't do that, so I know I didn't do that.
right. Mighty point, man. That's 1 Corinthians?
Yeah, 9 and 19.
Come.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 9 and verse 19. For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all.
Though I be free from all men, I have made myself a servant unto all. You see? It's calling out a righteous man. He said, I made myself. And he ain't talking about all, and you know, Christians will take that. See? Paul was all. No. You know, the other nations is a brute beast. They're not me.
That's right. Facts.
Right? So it's talking about Israelites. Service to all men. And even some of you Israelites, y'all not Israelites. That's Romans 9, John 8. So multiple scriptures. Right? Just because you can see Abraham, it ain't talking about you. He talking about the ones who had a spirit. The ones who want to repent. Not you wicked Negroes. You know, he said he fought with beasts at Ephesus. Those was Israelites. They was known as beasts. So there's a separation even in Israel. Right? Now the spirit got to determine that. You can't just look at a brother and say, yeah, that's brother kind of look like he not gonna be servant to him. Like Jacob do that. I don't like the way he wears his shoes. Brother beard got too many patches. Can't be Israel. You know, Jacob say all kind of crazy stuff, man. Jacob had too many patches. Israel can grow that beard, man. Jacob say all kind of stuff, man. Brother wear a bonnet.
You can't be Jay, man. You can't be Jay wearing no bonnet, man. It's future color.
All right, couple more precepts, man. It's getting late. Go ahead, read it.
The book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse 3. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind. Let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others.
Read.
Let this mind be in you, which was also in Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God.
I have to break that down if you read it. Break that down. Jacob lets go treat.
But it's debunking.
If you keep reading this, the book is
Good.
but nonetheless, the point is, look not every man upon his own thing, but the things of others. This was the mind that was in Christ. That's that no greater love, right? That a man laid down his life for his friend. That's your spirit. That's your carnal life, that carnal mindset, and if you come down to it, even your physical life, right? But if you ain't even willing to lay down your carnal life, you damn sure ain't gonna lay down your physical life. If you ain't gonna lay down, if you ain't gonna miss work for your brother, you damn sure ain't gonna die. You give him up to go to work.
Man.
Damn.
They say they giving out 10 gallons of gas. 10 gallons. You tell you, the days come around. They say they giving out 10 gallons of gas for every Israelite that's turned in.
It ain't gonna be that. Filth and some crackers.
I never even liked Alvarado. They turned in, man.
I make that nigga smile.
They can do it, man.
I remember he went off this one time, man. You know, I'm turning him in.
Yup.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 10 and verse 30.
Read up.
And Yahweh Shah answering said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him.
Right? So the nations did that to us. Right? And y'all know, if you want the breakdown on this parable, it's on the channel. We're not going to break it down right now. Right? But that's talking about the nations and what they did to Israel. Go ahead.
And departed, leaving him half dead. And by chance, there came down a certain priest.
High esteemed people, man. Our people that's highly esteemed. Go ahead.
A certain priest that way. And when he saw him, he passed by on the other side.
Just walk by to hell with it. Like a lot of their brothers be doing, no consideration. Right? Go ahead.
And likewise a Levite.
God damn it. Now, everybody has a Levite. Go ahead.
When he was at the place, came and looked on him. Came and looked on him and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he sojourning, came where he was.
The people that was cast off.
That's right.
The people that were looked down upon.
That's us.
Like us. Right? Do the Denzel play.
Hey, on my next week on my
You know you do the I stand by that. Right?
All right. It says, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him.
He what?
He had compassion on him.
He had compassion on him. So the Levite, the highly esteemed individual, that a lot of people in Israel are trying to get to that level of being the highly esteemed priest. Right? Somebody even call himself. Never mind. So trying to get to the highly esteemed level, that individual is the individual that passed by. But the ones that were cast off like we are, so why would we not want to remain that lowly Samaritan, man? That looked upon his brother, right? And had compassion. Go ahead.
And went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast.
And did what?
And set him on his own beast.
Did what he had to do to set him back in his powerful like state. That's what being put on the beast represents. Go ahead.
And brought him to an inn, and took care of him. And on the morrow, when he departed, he took out 2 pence, and gave them to the host, and said unto him, take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay you.
Hey, do whatever it takes to take care of my brother. It don't matter what it takes. And whatever I gotta pay for my brother to be taken care of, I'm gonna pay you. Go ahead.
Which now of these three thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves?
So get deep, 37.
And he said, he that showed mercy on him. Then said Yahweh unto him, go and do thou likewise.
With that, come here, son.
Hold on,